Let me start here. I'm not sure. I just found out. I'm not sure if you guys know or whatever, but I just like to pass on our sincere condolences from the Columbus Blue Jackets to Jason Botchford's family. I just found out about that. So I want to make sure that we send our best to his family and our condolences.
To your power play since he's been with your team?
Well, he's come in. He's been a consultant, not just in the power play, just with a lot of different facets of our game. Brought him in to give us a perspective of a player that is just, I think he's 4 years out of the game, but still played on a lot of different power plays. Does a little one-on-one with some players at certain times, but just to get his perspective as far as what he sees.
John, you've limited the stars of the Bruins, the top scorers anyways of the Bruins, to offensively in this series. You did the same in the first round at Tampa Bay. I think you're using a lot of your lines. I don't think you're necessarily targeting one line against them repeatedly. What's allowed you to limit the star players of the other team through these games so far?
We're just playing. Yeah, there's no focus. We're just playing.
This is a different level of checking than you saw from your group during the regular season, yeah?
Well, I said during the regular season, towards the end of the year, if you don't check, you're not going to be ready to play in the playoffs. It's just the way the game is in the National Hockey League. When you get to the playoffs, you need to defend, and you need to have a concentration of defending. All teams are doing it in the playoffs. We're nothing special. We're just trying to find our way, and we're just trying to play our game.
Hi, John. All season long, you've spoken about trying to keep your players' minds clear, keeping the message very focused with them in terms of preparation for every game, giving them maybe a few things to key on when they prepare for a game. When you get 4, 5, 6 games into a playoff series and you're playing the same team, how difficult is that message to continue? You want to keep your players' minds clear, but they have a lot of information they're dealing with there too.
Yeah. I think that's the fine line we walk. I think all coaches in playoffs is you are in a series, you're playing against the same team for 2 weeks. You'd be remiss if you didn't go over tendencies and certain things that you think your team's going to see from the opposition. I'll put it to you this way. We have a lot of things on our mind about how we need to play, but how much gets to the players. I think that's the thing. Quite honestly, I've viewed the tape, and we have a number of things we need to improve in as we keep pushing forward for Game 4. I think we have a number of things we need to improve on that we're going to bring to light tomorrow in our morning meeting, and I think we need a number of players playing better. So as the series keeps on going, now it's Game 4. So we're still there. I think we have to give them information. There's sometimes after a game, I'm not, it could have been after Game 1. I don't know. We felt we didn't need to give them stuff, but I think we need to give them some information tomorrow. So that's how there's no blueprint. It's just how you read your team and what's going on in the series.
John, in regards to the power play, and it's not a question of tactical or X's and O's, it's a fact of, it's a power play that was in the mid-teens during the regular season. It's now in the high 30s, and it's a shorter sample size in the playoffs. But was this success you're having in the power play, the way you're moving the puck through it, was this something you thought your guys could be doing all year, and maybe just some things were off? And is this the power play maybe you thought you could have, considering the personnel you have?
Well, I think we have real good personnel for a power play. You got to be really careful with the power play, with all the analytics and this and that, and sometimes it just gets streaky. Now, I'm not sure if that's happening. As I said in the opening question, we haven't changed a lot as far as how we're playing. We're just playing. We got some shots through. I thought last night on our power play goal, I thought we had some really good retrievals. We kept the puck. That helps to get a second and third whack at it. But it's not rocket science. We're just playing the game, trying to be the best we can be, trying to prepare as best we can. I think Brad Larson has done a terrific job in going over what to expect from penalty killing. We saw a little bit different things last night from them, and so we're just going to try to play.
In that first game, the tying goal and the winning goal, Werenski and Jones both took responsibility for both of them. You could tell it bothered both of them. Do you feel
What
like
game
that?
are you talking about?
What's that?
What game?
Game 1 against the Bruins.
Yes.
Yes, the
Yes.
tying goal,
Yes.
late in regulation,
Yes.
and the winning goal. Both of them seemed to. I mean, they basically just said, "Yeah, it's my fault," that kind of thing bothered them. Have you seen them take it to a different level, even in these last 2 games since that one? Did that maybe click in something with them, or did they just are they just picking it up?
No, they're just good players. I think they're good players, and it's a big stage, and they're just trying to take responsibility, try to play the best they can play.
John, since we don't get much insight into how a coaching staff functions, I'm just curious from your perspective what Bradshaw's best attributes and abilities have been in the few years you've worked with him.
Shawzy's one of the most intelligent coaches I've been around. I think just a terrific teacher. I can't get to his level sometimes as far as some of the things he sees. I think he's he is the greatest compliment I give him. He's probably one of the brightest guys I've been around as far as hockey. How he sees it, how he breaks it down, how he transforms it and gives it to the players. We're very fortunate to have him on our staff. His main responsibility is the back end and the penalty killing, but he adds insight all through it, and he has a pretty unique insight as far as how he sees the game, and I think it's very important for us.
John, you've talked several times in this postseason about not settling after a goal or a win. Does that get easier as the postseason goes along because you're closer to the mountaintop you're trying to climb, or harder because you're farther away from the valley?
We're mountaintop. Don't even start using that word. We're game 4 into the second round. Lori, I'll put it to you this way: you win your home game. Great building last night. You win it. That's where we need to lever ourselves out now. I hope they enjoyed themselves last night. That they should feel good about themselves. But these games could be going either way, and I think they're smart enough to realize that. They came to work today. I think they're showing a maturity of just each day you come in here, just make sure you're leveled out and get ready for our next game. And there's no mountaintop here. It's game 4 in second round.
Hi, John. Actually, that kind of dovetails into what I want to ask. You've talked about this before, but I wanted to ask again because we're farther along in the playoffs. There's a lot of firsts happening for most of your guys. Can you assess, what you see from them emotionally and maturity-wise and that sort of thing?
Yeah, well, I don't see anything special. I think they're having fun. A lot of firsts, it's a young group that hasn't really had a lot of experience with it. So with comes a few wins in the playoffs. There should be a lot of firsts, I guess, because they just haven't played in them in a long time. The organization hasn't been in them for a long time. But we're just, and I mean it, we come to work, we get ready for our next game, and as I said, right from the get-go here, that's how we're going to go about our business. You win the game, you lose the game, you come to work the next day, you get ready to play the next one. So we are trying to just stay within ourselves and try to get better each game. I thought we put more minutes in last night than we did the prior game. I still think we have a ton of things we need to improve on. And Jared's question, you can't touch upon all of them because then I think you paralyze them. But there are some major things that we need to improve on for Game 4. And I mean it, we need more guys to play. I don't think we have enough guys playing at the level they need to play at.
John, to follow up on that comment of how you prepare and looking at tendencies, how collaborative, if at all, is that process with the players in terms of what they're seeing and things that they feel the team should be addressing as well?
Yeah, well, it's a two-way conversation. I think as players get more and more comfortable with the coaching staff, they feel they can come and talk to you about things. During the games on the bench, they see things. They see the game totally different than we do, and we think we have all the answers, and we see it in our eyes as coaches. It's amazing how much you can learn from players if you open up your mind. And a few things have been said to me in this round here that I didn't even realize. So yeah, it's their game. It's not our game. I think we get in the way sometimes, and I think we need to keep on listening to them. But there are certain points, and there's not going to be any bending at a couple of points I have tomorrow, because I just think it's something we have to get better at. They need to listen to us also. So that's kind of the give and take as you go through. But they're a hell of a lot smarter than we are in certain situations, because they just see the game so differently.
I know you've talked about this before a little bit, but the longer we go on here, Bobrovsky does not have to go on the ice today. That luxury you have to just give him full days off, I mean, how beneficial really is that to keeping him sharp?
Yeah. It gave us an opportunity during the end of the regular season with Cater coming in here, and Cater's been so good, such a great pro in a situation where he hasn't played a lick here since he's been traded, but he just goes about his business in practice. So yeah, that's important things. If we didn't have him here during the playoffs, we'd probably bring another guy in anyway, because I think it's that important for that. It's such a unique position. The amount of pressure that's on the goalie, it's just such a unique position. We're letting Bob run on his schedule, how he feels most comfortable, get prepared for the next game.
Is that something that he talked to you guys about, or that you guys talked about and said, hey, he maybe expressed to you guys?
It's a running conversation, Hedge, with Manny and him. Manny comes to me, we talk about it, and I don't want to get in the way there. I think you need to respect the preparation of that position, so that's how we go about it.
John, a lot of the guys in the room have said that right in the first day of training camp, they addressed the elephant in the room with respect to Artemi and Sergei Bobrovsky's contract situation. Were you part of that process, or did they just kind of do that? Yeah.
Yes.
Was it important to do that right off the hop?
Yes, because then there's no tiptoeing around the situation, and yeah, and a number of other situations that, as I said, it's one of the most unique years I've been involved in, as far as some of the things that were going on in our locker room, and I think that helps you towards the end of the year when you deal with them the right way. You deal with them as men, face to face, and honesty. I think it helps you down the road as you go through some things.
Just a second one, John. Before the first game against Tampa Bay, there was that very public pregame speech that you gave the team that everyone saw. I mean, God damn it, I wanted to jump through the TV and put the pads on myself and go and play. I'm just wondering, I don't pretend to think that it's a big part of this, but did it set the tone for all of what's going on now?
Well, I think that's what coaches try to do when you start playoffs. I think we're in a you go through the regular season, I think you're in a constant mode as a coach, setting tones when you think you're losing, setting a standard, whatever it may be, whatever word you want to use. So when we open up the playoffs, and I spent 3 days prior to that series, and no one mentioned the word Columbus Blue Jackets to me. All they talked about was Tampa Bay. And I coached the Tampa Bay. I coached Columbus, and all they talked about was Tampa Bay. So I just wanted to let them know how the lay of the land out there was as far as how the team was being perceived. But I'll tell you right now, no speech, none of that stuff drives a team. What drives a team is the team. What drives a team is coming back in that first game. And they're the ones that do it, not the coaches. They're the ones that are playing. And that's when you can jump on that and try to gain some momentum off of it. We're very fortunate we did. And I do think there's a collective belief there after we grinded through a first game and get a win. I hate talking about the last series, but to answer your question, they do it. They're the ones that do it. They're the ones that bring that type of camaraderie and collective thought to try to find a way.
You know, we're happy about the Game 3 win, but we need to keep moving forward and stay focused.
Matt Duchene said after the game yesterday that there had been times during the postseason this team had been a bit of a punching bag, but he didn't see that last night. Do you know what he's talking about? Do you have any idea what may have changed that has allowed him to change his opinion on that?
I'm not sure. I don't really know. We want to play physical every night. If he's talking about the physicality of the game, that's taking hits is part of that. Getting involved in the game, I feel like I play my best hockey when the first shift I take a big hit and I give a big hit. That's just kind of the way it is for me personally. So I enjoyed the physicality of the series.
Seth, that power play you guys scored that goal with Duchene last night. I believe you were on the ice for like 3 minutes and 44 seconds.
Almost the other night.
Where did you learn how to, kind of absorb that kind of a shift and still stay focused?
You're just out there, right? That's what you do the training camp for. That's what you work out for in the summer. Your conditioning, and I feel like every time I step on the ice, I'm rejuvenated and ready to go from the shift before. So my job on the power play is to patrol the blue line pretty much and keep pucks in and get the puck to Cam or Brett and just make plays up there for those guys.
You had a keep in that looked like a shortstop there. What kind of response did you get from the
I was
team?
already dead tired at that point. You saw I kind of took a second after I kept it in just to take a deep breath again. But, just like I said, making plays, trying to see where defenders want to shoot it out, trying to read it off their blade before they get it off.
How has this team been able to cut out the outside? How has this team been able to cut out the outside noise and just focus on what's at hand? Has that been a learned process through the season?
I think we've done a pretty good job of it throughout the season of keeping the noise outside of the locker room, concentrating on what's most important to us. And, we've been through some things this year as a team, and we've dealt with them as a team. And right now I think we've came a long way from those points this season. And you kind of see it translate on the ice. So chemistry is great in this room. So yeah, we're just looking to keep moving forward here.
How quickly did you turn from Game 3 to Game 4 and start thinking about that?
For me, right away. I mean, every effort that you win or lose, it's not going to be good enough the next night. So, like I said before, we got a good practice in today. I'm sure we'll do some film tomorrow morning and some things we can work on, correct, whether it's special teams or 5-on-5, and get ready to play a better game.
We all saw the Marchand punch, and I'm not specifically asking about that, but I'm asking about how players handle that. When you see it and you're playing in a series, how do you digest it and try to do things that make sure you're playing the right way, but also represent yourself and defend yourself in those situations?
Yeah, I don't think it's a play that you like to see in hockey, but I'm not going to really worry about it. We got more important things to worry about. So, what we did was get the win, and so we just got to keep going about our business. And I've told you guys from the start of the postseason, I'm never going to worry about the other team. We can handle punches. We've all taken them at some point, and it's just part of the game. But that is not part of the game, I will say. And but we're just going to go about playing the game the right way and doing what we need to do to win hockey games.
Nick, you mentioned last night wanting to get better. Torch just mentioned a lot of areas where you want. Where do you think the improvement needs to come between 3 and 4?
I just think our overall game can just ramp up a little bit more. I think more guys can bring it. I think our team structure can get a little tighter and a little bit better, and that's a good sign. I think we feel like there's more to give, and then when you're in that situation where you already feel like you're playing some pretty good hockey and there's still areas to improve on, whether it's just structural or compete level and all those things, it's a good sign for your club going forward.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
you see something like that you said it doesn't belong in hockey, I know you're not paying attention to the team, but that could be a sign of frustration on their part, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're not in a great spot right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to read into it other than just we move past it. I'm over everything from last game. I'm already looking forward to the next one. So, that's why I feel bad. You're not going to get much out of me because I don't really care what went on last game. We got to get ready for this next one and know that they're going to come out better and we have to come out better. And we're excited about that challenge because I think we feel, like I said, we have room to grow and get better. And, we'll bring that into tomorrow's game. I wish I had the answer. The only thing I'd say is I think we're taking responsibility of our roles on the power play as well. I think you look at our overall team game, and guys have spoken about how everyone's accepting of their roles. Well, I think you're seeing that on the power play now, where this is your spot, and you better do it to the best of your abilities. And I think you're seeing guys really buy into that. And Cam's moved around. We've all moved around. Now you got Dutchie playing in front of the net too, and I think it's solidified us in a lot of areas. And and I think that's really been the compete level on our power play. I really am proud of the guys, just the way that we're competing and understanding that it's not so much just the pretty plays, it's the retrievals, it's those things that are going to allow you the second and third chances, and that was the difference maker in the game last game.
What can you say about the job that this team has done checking against the best players on the other team and in the first series as well?
Yeah, we've taken a lot of pride in that. I think all season. That's not really just a defenseman's job. Obviously, Bob's playing really well. He's played really well all year, but I think it's a five-man group. I think you look at the job that we've tried to do. Obviously, we're not perfect. We've given up a lot of chances, and that's Bob's been huge bailing us out. But we're just trying to take their time and space away. In all three zones, and I think that what's allowed us to be successful is our forwards have done a great job of as Torts talks about, reloading and having good sticks in the neutral zone. And I think that last night was a good example of that. I think, like I said, we did give up some chances, but I think that our forwards did a great job blocking shots at the end of the game and really just making simple plays and getting it out of our zone. I think that we've done a good job of recognizing at this time of year, you don't have to hit the home run play all the time. I think that over the course of a game, just consistently making the smart play in certain situations where, maybe they're stringing some shifts together and getting some momentum. We've just kind of bared down and as a five-man unit trying to, protect the middle of the ice and get pucks out to relieve pressure whenever we need it.
Sure, you looked in the mirror, you look like the guy that's played some playoff games now with this. This puts the back of your head like anything.
It's fine. That's what the helmet's for, so it's good.
Would you have liked to have seen a penalty called at the time on that play? Do you think that might have been one?
Well, I think you always want to see a penalty, especially at that time of the game. But, obviously no one saw it, no big deal. I think Booner did a good job. I think he was the closest guy. You could tell he was upset, but he did a good job of keeping his composure. The last thing you want to do at that time of the game is chase a guy all over the ice and take a penalty whenever they're pushing. So, we're hockey players. We're going to take shots, but I think something we've preached as a team in the first round and the second round is to kind of play right to the edge, play right to the whistle, and then suck it up and you'll take some shots. But hopefully over the course of the series that will give us some power plays.
There obviously been a lot of injuries in the back end for you guys. How much have you and your line mates really taken a lot of pride in knowing, okay, we've got to really step up because we've lost some guys?
Yeah, well, I think as defensemen, that's something you definitely take pride in. I think that the first series and the second series now, we're facing a lot of skill. We're facing a lot of players that have put up a lot of points in the regular season, and that's something we definitely take a lot of pride in is going out every shift and doing your best to shut them down and move the puck, advance it to our forwards, and let them go to work. And it's not just defensemen; it's a five-man unit, six-man with Bob. But we've definitely had some injuries, and every team's going to have injuries at this time of the year. But that's something that we talk about a lot is just everyone kind of focusing on their individual game, and I think whenever everyone tries to play their best game collectively, it gives us the best chance.
Scott?
You mentioned the fact that Booner handled it well and your teammates handled it well. Throughout the playoff run, not just last night, you all have talked about patience and trying to handle things maturely, stay out of scraps, and basically stay out of the penalty box. But most importantly, discipline, self-discipline. Is that just another example of that coming?
Yeah, I think so. I think at that point of the game, we've got a job to do, and the job is to, defend our 1-goal lead. I don't know how much time was left, just a couple minutes, I think, and that's not the time to settle scores or to go out of the way to, prove yourself or anything like that. It's to, stick together, get the job done. I know it's a cliche, but that's really where our mentality was at. So, we realized that it was late in the game, and we had a job to do to hold off their push. So it was a good job of the guys to get that done.